I think there's actually something much more fundamental going on here, that in the sense that historically there's been one big power cleavage in our politics, which was really the capital-Labor divide, that, you know, you kind of had one side of politics was about big business versus, and the other side was about the working classes. And I think that actually what's happening is that we've actually got an increasing number of cleavage points, and that actually the reason the parties aren't coping is they actually can't divide the community into two groups in quite the way that they used to. That if you actually look at it from the history of sort of the evolution of political ideologies, if you think about sort of Victorian, you know, Old English society, and look at the beginnings of this stuff, that, you know, you think of it as a hierarchy. The way that political movements have shifted over time is that with economic change, each time we've had major economic change, a new group of people gets empowered, and then they've started to seek access to political power and political, you know, greater access to resources and political power. And that started off with the industrialists challenging the aristocrats, and then it was the middle class challenging the industrialists, and then it was the working classes, and then we kind of moved on to sort of women and non-whites challenging the power of white men. And what we've got at the moment is we've got a political system that's 120 years old. It's very much around that sort of capital versus labour is the way that the party system is set up. But we're now cleavaging, I would suggest, actually around 3 points. We're cleavaging around capital versus labour. We're cleavaging around on white men versus women and non-whites. And we're also cleavaging around how we respond to the fact that the developing world is the newly empowered group, that economic change means the developing world is now going, hey, we want a greater share of the economic pie. And so how we then engage with that challenge from globalisation. And there's those 3 cleavage points. And I think if you look at what's happening at the Liberal Party at the moment, you can see those cleavage points are cutting across them between their Liberals and their Conservatives, and between their protectionists and their free traders.
I think that's a very good analysis of what's happening.